East War of June of 1967 caused major changes to the maps, the people, and the governments in the Middle East. The early morning of June 5th exploded with the surprise attack of the Israeli Air Force on the Egyptian airplanes on the ground. 80% of the Egyptian Air Force was destroyed. By June 7th, Israel had destroyed the air forces of Egypt, Syria, and Jordan. They had control of the Sinai Peninsula, Jerusalem, the West Bank, and Gaza. On June 8th, the USS Liberty, America's most sophisticated intelligence ship in 1967, was attacked by Israeli air and naval forces in international waters, 13 miles off of El Arish in Sinai. 34 Americans were killed. 172 were wounded. The Israeli and American governments pronounced the attack as a case of mistaken identity. Issi Rehar was the chief of Israeli naval operations. He reported a ship had shelled the port city of El Arish.
So I think around 12 o'clock, I decided to order 3 MTBs, motor torpedo boats, from the port of Ashdod.
Are you sure you can't see any kind of an identification? And all the words came back, no.
If you will be sure that it is a military ship, you can hit it.
The first Mirage pilot radioed, "Oil is spilling out into the water." Another added, "Great, wonderful, she's burning, she's burning." And El Arish commander reported, "He's hit her a lot, there's an oil slick in the water." Then headquarters asked, "Menachem, is he screwing her?" The next wave was super Mystères with 1,000-pound bombs and canisters of jellied gasoline. Someone in Southern Command called, "He's going down low with napalm all the time." The flight leader noted, "It would be a blessing if we could have iron bombs. Otherwise, our Navy's going to get here and do the sinking." A pilot interrupted, "Pay attention. The ship's markings are Charlie, Tango, Romeo 5. There's no flag on her." And headquarters ordered, "Leave her."
The time now is 14:12, and he says, "I see CTR-5." And the minute we hear that, the Air Force stops all operations and says, "All our aircraft, all our attack aircraft, please stop." I must say that at that point in time, in my mind, it was an American ship.
But that opinion was not shared by the commander of the torpedo boat squadron. He believed it to be a small Egyptian freighter, the El Qasir.
We told him there are some doubts about identification.
These doubts, incredibly, did not reach the commanding officer who ordered the torpedoes launched.
That the order did not reach the commanding officer on the bridge where you launched the torpedoes.
At about a range of 1,000 yards, or a little bit more than 1,000 yards, I ordered to prepare the torpedoes and ordered that all commanders will take the action of firing torpedoes.
This is the story of the attack on the Liberty, told by Israeli and U.S. government sources. Now, we are going to show you what really happened. The survivors of the 294-man crew of the USS Liberty will tell you their story.
I'm Tito Howard, the producer of The Loss of Liberty. The host for this program about the attack on the USS Liberty will be Dr. Richard Kiefer, one of the many heroes that day. Dr. Kiefer was the only doctor aboard Liberty. He had a gunshot wound, he had a burn, he had a broken right kneecap, and he had 11 pieces of shrapnel in his abdomen, which he kept together with a life jacket. That man stood on those legs for 28 consecutive hours, saving American lives and limbs.
This film should shock decent Americans. Above all, men and women who've served in America's armed forces. It will shock particularly as it was an attack not by terrorists implacably opposed to the United States, as is the case of the USS Cole.
The Liberty is the most decorated ship in the history of the United States Navy. 840 medals, including the Medal of Honor for her skipper, the Presidential Unit Citation for her crew, 2 Navy Crosses, 11 silver stars, and 204 Purple Hearts.
The day before, I was topside when Israeli planes came by, and very close where we could wave to the pilots, and they were that close where we could wave back.
It was a very clear day. It was a warm day. Sunshine was shining brightly out. Nice breeze blowing, and I distinctly remember hearing the flag flapping in the wind.
There was approximately 13 sorties of our ship from 6 o'clock till 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We had a general quarters drill that lasted 45 minutes or so.
Our captain, like me being an engineer, really believed in watertight integrity and making sure our people were equipped and knew how to fight fires and repair damage. I was coming to go back to the Trescom area, and I stepped out on deck. That plane came by and looked right in the cockpit. If you waved, I waved. That's how close they were, and they knew who we were.
Well, all the recon flights that they had that morning, looking at our ship for approximately 6 to 7 hours, they had a good idea of what they were doing, and they hit us hard and fast with everything they had.
Commander William McGonigal, the ship's captain, although he had been badly wounded, most of his bridge crew had been killed, he stayed on the bridge throughout the attack and the long night that followed. Admired and respected by his crew, he received the Congressional Medal of Honor for gallantry.
When the plane struck, it was without provocation and certainly unexpected. And they seemed to descend on us from all directions at the same time. Those rockets and machine guns tore the ship. It killed men on deck. And we were defenseless.
I heard this big bang, and there was bullet holes all behind in the cushions of the couch that I just left. And by the time I got to the door of the wardroom, the skipper was on the PA system that we were under attack by unknown forces, man your battle stations. Then the regular general quarters sound alarm went off, and right across the hatch from the wardroom is where I would go through, down 2 decks to my station. When I went through there was one rocket that came through and helped me to get down 2 floors in a dead-burn hurry. When I got up off my knees down there, well, we were well under attack. And the skipper again was on the phone system telling auxiliary radio to get word out to anyone that they could that we were under attack by unknown forces and we were in the need of help.
My reporter station was Radio Central. It was my responsibility to keep up, ship-to-ship or ship-to-shore communications. And out on deck in Radio Central, we were taking rounds through the bulkheads. There was 2 55-gallon drums of gasoline just outside the bulkhead on the 01 level that had caught fire from the strafing run. And that was heating that outside bulkhead and peeling the paint off on the inside. There was a lot of smoke in the compartment. There's holes where we were taking rounds where the sunlight shining through, and it was a real surrealistic look